This week's best MMA bets, we're talking UFC Vegas 58 main event, Fiziev versus Dos Anjos. Pretty good card. We're going to talk about the pure betting side. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn those post notifications on and share the video as well. We'll start with the locks, then jump to dogs. We'll talk some props and finish it out with the parlays. Let's start it off with section number 1, which are the locks for this card. These are going to be the favorite picks. The first one, I think it's fairly self-explanatory. It's going to be Said Nurmagomedov over Douglas Silva de Andrade. I feel like Said is a quality lock this week, guys. I think he's a very difficult matchup for Douglas Silva de Andrade. Looking at the lines, you find best value Nurmagomedov at minus 275. I'm kind of seeing finish here for him. I've been feeling club and sub all week, so I'll read the submission prop off. Nurmagomedov by sub is plus 325. This is not a bad stab. I could see him hurting Douglas Silva de Andrade on the feet and then submitting him. Under 2.5 rounds, minus 130. There's definitely a chance that it could go longer. Andrade could survive. He's not an easy guy to put away. He's dangerous in his own right, power puncher, a guy that looks for knockouts, but I really feel like Said Nurmagomedov's getting the finish. I'm going minus 275 Said. I think he's a good parlay piece. I mean, if you're hitting it hard on the money line, you could definitely attack him. I like the submission prop. Inside of the distance is only plus 105, so you don't get nearly as juicy money as that sub line, but it's an okay play because I do think there's a pretty good chance he gets to finish. But Said Nurmagomedov is my first of the locks, and he is a pick I'm feeling very good about this week. The next lock is going to be heavyweights. I'm picking Jared Vanderaa. Even though both guys are back-end heavyweights, I think Vanderaa offers a lot more danger. I feel like his striking is more dangerous. I think he does have a more capable ground game. He's the physically stronger guy of the two, I believe. Chase Sherman's also looked like really bad, whereas, Vanderaa hasn't looked good, and he's made mistakes in fights. I still think he's going to beat Chase in this spot. Looking at the lines, best value you're getting is around, minus 175 for Jared Vanderaa. Sherman upwards of plus 165. I think that this fight could go longer, but a stoppage doesn't surprise me because I feel like both guys are kind of in back against the wall type situations. Maybe you play the under 2.5 at minus 145. I think Vanderaa is a quality money line attack. I think you're getting into murky waters playing the props here, but if we had to touch something, maybe you go Vanderaa. Let's say you did play him by KO, TKO. It's plus 225. Maybe he caught the sub upwards of plus 700. But I like Vanderaa to win. I'm going to lean it towards inside of the distance, around plus 150, because I do think there's jobs on the line, and I think both guys will bring it. But if it goes the full 3, I wouldn't be absolutely up in arms shocked here. I'm picking Jared Vanderaa, though, as a great money line lock, and I think somebody you can throw down on, and maybe a parlay piece as well. We'll talk about it at the end. The next of the locks, I like Jamie Mullarkey over Michael Johnson. Mullarkey is around a minus 217 favorite, minus 235. It really varies place to place, but he's in the minus 240 range, let's say. Michael Johnson plus 200 as a dog. I know Michael Johnson is a juicy underdog. He's a guy that at one point was a top contender, extremely dangerous with his hands, quick southpaw with finishing ability. But I think Mullarkey's going to bully him and overwhelm him. I like Mullarkey to win by KO, TKO. Mullarkey just inside of the distance is upwards of plus 110. But Mullarkey KO, TKO plus 200 is the line that I'm feeling here. I think he's going to get a stoppage. In leaning it the second, could see it in the first, but definitely more so the second. I do think the first could be fairly competitive. I don't know if I like the over 1.5 because I could see a stoppage in the first quarter even of the second round. I'm going Mullarkey. I think he's going to bully Michael Johnson, guys. I think that he's going to be overwhelmed. I'm always waiting for Michael Johnson to do something spectacular. I know he beat Alan Patrick in the last one, but he still got wobbled there, and I think Mullarkey is going to put an end to him and get a stoppage win. Jamie Mullarkey for the W. Got to ride with the youth as well with Mullarkey. The next of the locks, I do feel like Tresean Gore is a lock this week. Yes, he's fighting a difficult wrestler in Cody Brundage, but a one-dimensional guy. Tresean, I think has quality takedown defense. His hips are very good. He's explosive. He's hard hitting, and he's a prospect that I'm excited about. I really loved him on Tough, and I'm excited to see where he can take it. As far as the lines, Tresean is around a -130 favorite. Brundage around +110. I feel like Tresean's a pretty good money line attack. I'm going to say he gets the knockout here. I'm pretty confident that he does. Tresean Gore to win. Let's see by KO TKO. They don't have the Gore KO TKO line. Let me pull up fight odds just to get a second look here. Let's find Tresean. They're going to have it here. KO TKO for Gore is upwards of +300. I think that +300 line's a good attack. I think Tresean's getting a win in the first 2 rounds. I like under 2.5 rounds as well at +105. I think this is a fight that ends inside of the distance. I mean, Dolce Ligambula was beating up Cody on the feet and then decides to blast a double leg and gets guillotined. Tresean won't be looking for those doubles. He's going to be going for the KO. He's a very dangerous striker, and he's going to put it on Brundage. I'm saying knockout. I'm actually picking first round KO as well. I like that +300 KO prop. The next of the locks, Ricky Turcios over Amian Zahabi. I do think Turcios has a very good chance to win this fight. He's scrappy. He scrambles very well. It's not going to be easy for Amian Zahabi, who is a little bit of a lower output guy, but does have a lot of pop. I know there's concerns of Turcios because he has been knocked out before. Mano Martinez stopped him. He lost to Boston Salmon on the Contender Series, but I will remind you guys that was, a fair amount of time back. He's shown lots of improvements. He went through the ring on Tough, fought an absolute stud Brady Heinstein at the end and wins a hard-fought decision. Amian Zahabi, I don't think is as versatile as Turcios, nor do I think he's as much of just an absolute savage. I'm riding Ricky Turcios confidently here at -183. It's not an ugly tag at all. I do think we're going the distance, though, around -165 for over 2.5. Turcios wins by decision will be my official pick. So +145 for that Turcios decision line. Out of curiosity, I'll look at Zahabi by KO, +450. I know some people will want to jump on that with, the last one, Draco knocks him out in one shot. And then with, obviously Turcios does have a stoppage loss in the past. But I think Ricky is very good. Riding the high of winning Tough as well. I see the momentum so strongly on his side, and I'm excited to see what he does. Those are the locks for this card that I feel like supremely good about. I do also want to list off, I have high confidence in Rafael Fiziev. I'll call him my semi-lock here. Reason I don't love it nearly as much on the betting side is because he's in that -200 range. I do think he's going to beat Dos Anjos. The takedown defense should be there. The explosiveness is there. Biggest concern on my front with him is just when the fight goes later. It's just we haven't seen it yet. Is he put on his back by Dos Anjos? I'm going to call him the semi-lock of the week. He's a very confident pick still. He's going to be my sixth. I'll even put him as a quote lock. He's the sixth one. He's the final one, though. But he really should get it done. He seems to be that guy. I like the ability of Fiziev a ton, so I have to note him at the end of the lock section here as the semi-lock of the week, really. Let's talk underdogs. Excuse me. I do think there are some good dogs this week, especially the women's fights. First underdog I am going to talk about Cynthia Calvillo versus Nina Nunes. I think Nina Nunes is a fantastic play. +133. I believe she's just a much more versatile fighter. She can do a lot more striking. If it hits the mat on the back, I can see Nunes fending off the control from Calvillo and finding her way back up to the feet. Nunes is also very fit and physically strong. I think that's a factor. I believe she's a better athlete than Calvillo. She's got a really good jab. Calvillo does get touched up by straight punches. There's not a ton of quality head movement from her. I got to ride the side of Nina Nunes as an underdog. I do predict she wins a decision, and we're going over 2.5. I'm very confident in that. Over 2.5, -202 best value. Calvillo to win by decision. Excuse me, Nunes to win by decision. +230. It's a better line, and it's probably going to be that result. She has the ability to stop Calvillo, especially because of Calvillo's recent performances getting stopped. Maybe you want to hold off on that win by decision. If you did go Nunes by KO TKO, it's actually upwards of +650. So that'd be a bit of a Hail Mary prop if you wanted to sprinkle it. Don't think it's super likely, but with Calvillo getting stopped a couple times, Nina Nunes, I think she's going to have the momentum coming back in. And I feel like, when she left off, she loses to Tatiana Suarez, takes a layoff, comes back, fights Mackenzie Dern. And now she's coming up to 125, fighting a former 115er in Calvillo. It's not a matchup with size discrepancy. I think Nunes is going to look good and get the win. I think the lines are wrong there. I'm going with the underdog in that spot. Next one, Sudyokub Karamanov over Ronnie Lawrence. Sudyokub is very dangerous, guys. Ronnie Lawrence is super good too. Real prospect matchup. I think Karamanov steals a decision from him. Lines sitting around the plus 120 range for Sudyokub. Ronnie Lawrence around minus 137. I feel like we're going over at minus 180, but both guys do have good finishing ability, so it could be a bit of a concern, but more likely, I think Sudyokub could even grab Lawrence up in a submission. So just looking at the sub line, oddly, they don't have all the sub lines out. Let me see here. Let's see if we can get them. Do we not have all the props listed? As of right now, it seems like we don't have every prop out. That's odd. Let's see what inside of the distance for Karamanov is plus 260. I'm going to call that the sub line will be around plus 350. The knockout line probably around similar range. But the official pick is Karamanov by decision, which is plus 350 for that straight decision prop. I like Karamanov money line, though. I think if you're going to bet the dog here, just attack it money line. I think it's a smarter way to do it. I feel like we are going over 1.5 at minus 335. Probably over 2.5. Minus 185, minus 180, not a bad range. Sudyokub Karamanov is a quality underdog to attack this week and one that I'm feeling good about and riding with personally. Now, the next of the dogs, it's women's action. It is Antonina Shevchenko, Courtney Casey. The official pick stands at a low confidence Shevchenko pick, but I would never bet Shevchenko. She's been extremely inconsistent. She's lost for me in the past when I have put some stake on her and been confident in her. Courtney Casey is a very hard out, and I see this as a very competitive fight that goes longer. Over 2.5 rounds, minus 220, I think is not a bad bet because I expect these girls to go decision. Courtney Casey's going to be hard to deal with for Shevchenko. I could see maybe Casey having success. It's like, for me, it's a 55-45 confidence. I do think Shevchenko's Muay Thai could be a big problem, but I feel like it's going to be a close decision. Sometimes these close decisions, they jump the underdog side. If you're betting on this one, I think you go Courtney Casey for the win and you money line it. But if you want to play plus 330, Casey to win by decision, it's not an ugly line. And I think there's a pretty good shot that Courtney Casey gets her hand raised on the scorecards if they go there. Yes, the official pick is Shevchenko, but if you're value betting, you're looking at it money-wise only, Casey has a legit chance to win. It's a very competitive fight. I think Courtney Casey's a very viable underdog. Those are, for me, the dogs that I feel good about, not suggesting that there's no chance for some others, but those are the ones that I feel like, yeah, that's the way I want to lean it. Now, I want to quickly glance upon Garrett Armfield, David Onama before we jump to the props. The lines have just opened up. Onama upwards of minus 578. Garrett Armfield plus 472. Some people might want to jump the Armfield dog side. He's a very good prospect. He's nasty. He did lose to Onama in the past. David Onama is a problem. Also, note that Armfield previously fighting at 35, jumping up, taking on short notice, fighting Onama at 145 pounds. David Onama will be, the naturally bigger guy, and he's been preparing for this fight and spot in the UFC, and he's looked really, really good. Onama's the official pick, but something to note, I like Armfield's abilities, and he's not going to be an easy out. Maybe you're looking for a true Hail Mary dog. That would be one of them. You could maybe sprinkle it, but likelihood, I'm going to say, is very low. Just had to talk about it. Let's jump to the prop section. If you guys haven't, make sure to smash the like button, and let's talk some pure prop betting. So, the first pure prop line that I want to talk about here is Kennedy Nzechukwu and Carl Roberson. The over 1.5 rounds, I actually think, even though they're big boys, it's going to come through. Minus 166, best value for that over 1.5. It's around the minus 185 range. I'm predicting Nzechukwu wins a hard-fought decision, but there could definitely be a stoppage on either side. The over 1.5, though, I just feel good about within Nzechukwu's range and sometimes not ton of volume. With Roberson, not the best guy at always, getting inside and touching up the taller man. He's been hurt in fights, bad losses. I just don't think Nzechukwu has that magic touch that he's going to just clearly outstrike Roberson. I can see Roberson having a lot of success in this fight too, and I don't think he's, impossible underdog. But Nzechukwu the official pick. The over 1.5 I like a lot here. I think that's going to come through for us at over 1.5, minus 185, wherever you're playing it, around the minus 166 range. Maybe a parlay piece as well. That over 1.5 is kind of shouting my name. And it's one that I do think I'll want to sweat on fight night. So that's one prop that I really feel is worth looking at. That over 1.5 for that matchup. I just think it's a good idea. The next of the props, we jump up to the co-main event. Caio Borralho and Armen Petrosyan, both elite prospects here in the middleweight division. Borralho, the minus 210 favorite versus a game Petrosyan, who's upwards of plus 196 as a dog. I have a feeling we're going to take the over 1.5 here as well, which is around minus 170. I think that could definitely hit. But Borralho to win by a submission is something I think we have to consider at plus 260 because I think the discrepancy of the jiu-jitsu between the two is clear. Borralho is very dangerous on the mat. Petrosyan is very dangerous on the feet, but Borralho also a dangerous striker, don't get me wrong. I will say Petrosyan may be a bit more slick and smooth in the pure kickboxing realm, whereas, Borralho has more of that karate style stand-up. I like Borralho to win by submission plus 260. One to talk about. The over 1.5 I also think could come through around that minus 170 range. Do I want to throw heavy money line on Borralho? Maybe not, but I still do believe that he's going to win the bout. But Armen Petrosyan will not make this one easy. Fun matchup. Prospect battle. Caio Borralho, though, the difference maker will be on the mat. So I think that subline maybe is something to consider. And let's talk a little bit about the main event. We did kind of bring it up with Fiziev to win, and I said he's a semi-lock for me. But prop betting side of things, I like the knockout play on Fiziev. Right now, KO TKO for Fiziev, plus 235. I feel like he's going to knock Dos Anjos out. I like it later, so let's go Fiziev by KO TKO. I want to see if we can get a multi-round bet, and let's see what they're sitting at. Let's see if we don't have it available. Damn. If we can get Fiziev rounds 2 and 3 or rounds 3 and 4, I like that a lot. I like Fiziev personally, third round knockout for Fiziev, plus 1,400 to win in round 3, to win by KO TKO in round 3 for him. He's actually sitting upwards of plus 1,400 as well. So still similar range, depending where you're playing at. But Fiziev, I really believe he's going to get the win. And I'm going to say third round. I think he knocks Dos Anjos out. Something I saw on the tape with Renato Moicano is there's an opening for a guy with the level of stand-up for Fiziev to really hurt Dos Anjos down the center line, the way he moves forward, especially with a more grappling-minded game. Older guy now, Dos Anjos, not old, but older guy in the game. Yeah, he's still looking, top line, and he's going to beat a ton of guys at lightweight. He's one of the best. I mean, former world champion. Fiziev is the now. Dos Anjos is the then. I'm saying Fiziev by KO. I do think the plus money's worth it. Maybe you attack it money line. I don't think it's a terrible play. As I said, it's like a semi-lock for me, but one that I had to talk about here. I do think we're going the under 4.5, nearly plus 140. Going to be very interesting to see how Fiziev looks if we do enter the championship rounds. Great fight. And one that has me pretty damn excited. This card is like a sleepy good card. Like you look through it and you start really dissecting the matchups and there's some high quality action that is going to be on display Saturday. Now let's jump to the parlays. If you guys haven't, make sure to smash that like button and show some love. I want to create a real safe parlay first, and then we'll get a little bit crazier. Nurmagomedov, high confidence. Jamie Mullarkey, high confidence. You're getting minus 110. So yes, that tag isn't great, but I do feel as though this one will come through. Adding in Jared Vanderaa, I'm feeling good about. Nearly plus 190 for that. So this is a 3-fighter parlay. I think that's pretty good. Said Nurmagomedov, Jamie Mullarkey, Jared Vanderaa, minus 195. If you're just looking to add fighters into it, I think this could be one that is a heavy hitter. If you want something close money, maybe you added in Trey Sean, and now you bring yourself all the way up to plus 400, which I think is fairly valuable. I still want to keep it safer, so we're leaning more towards the lock side of the picks for this next edition. Tercios could be another one. If you go lock it up, plus 666. Maybe it's destiny to play that one. Said Nurmagomedov, Jamie Mullarkey, Jared Vanderaa, Tresean Gore, Ricky Tercios. I believe all 5 of these fighters will be victorious on Saturday night, and I believe it enough so that this plus 666 line might be the one to sprinkle at. Maybe you hit it, with a decent amount. Obviously, 2-3 fighters maximum to keep things on the safer side, but we're talking pure, lottery ticket parlays. Like, this is not a bad lottery ticket, and I think likelihood is fairly high, to be honest. Let me remove a couple of guys and let's simplify this play. All right, Said Nurmagomedov. If you want to add in him and then jump it up, let's add Dog City, Sudyo Cup Karamanov. The OVs at the end, plus 190 if you added him. I do think this one's also a hitter. And one that I feel pretty good about. If I'm looking to add more, you want to add ladies action, add another dog. You're bringing in plus 570. You added in Nina Nunes. Now we're getting into the riskiest of territories. I feel as though playing the over in the Shevchenko-Courtney Casey fight isn't a bad idea at minus 230. If you had the dog in there, Sadyokub Karamanov, or if you don't even want Sadyokub and you're just playing minus 110 with that over, and then you're going up and you're at and you're adding in Jamie Malarkey plus 173. The over with Casey Shevchenko, Said Nurmagomedov, Jamie Malarkey around the plus 170 range. If you added in the big man Vandera, plus 300 range as well. We can get nuts with this parlay. I kind of want to go a little bit crazy here with this one. See Tercios back in. I want Sadyokub on the line because I'm feeling pretty good about Sadyokub, guys. Plus 1,289. This is a Hail Mary lottery ticket, but it's one I like. It's one I like a lot. We'll remove Sadyokub for a moment and just add in the over 1.5, adding in some more time props. Plus 855 for 2 overs with quality fights, Roberson and Zechiku. Then the ladies going after it with Casey and Shevchenko, mixed in with Said Nurmagomedov, Jamie Malarkey, Jared Vandera, Ricky Tercio, some quality locks that I do expect to come through. Add Trayshawn in, plus 1562. We're kind of going nuts here with these parlays, but I'm trying to create something magical here, something insane. I want to get a plus 2,000. There we go. This is it. Said Nurmagomedov, over 2.5, Casey and Shevchenko, Jamie Malarkey, Jared Vandera, Ricky Tercios, the over 1.5 on the Nzechiku fight, Trayshawn Gore, Fiziev, plus 2,373. You want to add a dog to the slate, and let's ride with our girl, Nina Nunes. We got plus 5,000 money now. Plus 5,588. As wide as this one is, I feel like this is one of those Hail Marys that could hit a home run. Like, I feel like this is a home run hitting Hail Mary, and in the plus 5,000 range, if you're looking to touch it, I don't think it's a bad idea. I mean, $10 can cash you big if you wanted to go nuts and throw, something a little heavier on it, and you ride the wave, and hopefully we ride that wave all the way to the top, and we'll ride ourselves to the bank with a huge W on a crazy parlay. Of course, safety first, 2-3 fighters maximum. Maybe have 1 or 2 fighters and an over. We showed the safer ones. This is more the risky zone. If you want to add some dogs in, there's definitely ways you can play it. I know some people like to even play props on their parlays. Personally, I am not a huge fan of that. I like to stray at least on the overs, the unders, and the fighter side, rather than going, all the way to the next level, adding in props and whatnot. Still, good card this weekend. I think some potential cashers. Be cautious with your bets, but I feel like success is coming for all of us here. Much love, my people. I hope you enjoyed another episode of this week's Best MMA Bets. Should be a fun card tomorrow, dropping the money line with my guy Mike Finch. That's going to be a lot of fun. Friday weigh-in recap show. Good week ahead of us. Much love to my people. Smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn those post notifications on and share the video as well. Let me know in the comments what you think of the picks, the potential bets. If you don't have anything to say, but you just enjoy the content, as always, drop a W in the chat for your boy. Much love, my people, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace, everybody.